Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you're well and your week is off to a great start. Karibu sana to my channel. I'm so glad that you've clicked on this link and chosen to spend your time with me. My name is Maureen and I post videos every Tuesday on personal development, travel vlogs, and anything that you and I are going to agree to talk about. So this week I am back with a new video, but before that I would like to thank all of you who watched my previous videos and left some comments. You guys are really gassing me up to continue doing this. I'm still getting the hang of this YouTube space, but I'm sure that with time we're going to ace it. It's all vibes and inshallah up in here. So this week I'm back with another video. I hope you watched at least one of the videos from the previous video. So this week I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the books that I've really enjoyed reading so far, and I haven't quite finished reading them, and I don't think I'll ever finish any of the books that I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to tell you why. So let's get started. Actually, I'd like to know, do you guys like reading? Do you read? And what kind of books do you read? Do you like reading? I can't even talk today. Who watches this? Let me know what's your favorite book, and do you like to read soft copy or hard copy? Personally, my favorite book is The Memoirs of a Geisha. I know it's such a random book, but I really loved it. The first time I read it, I got it from my friend, and then I loved it so much I had to go get myself a copy. Then I reread it, and when the movie came out, I went and watched the movie as well. And now I think I'm still going to look for it in my archives and go read it, flip the pages, and learn from the geishas, Hatsumomo, Pumpkin. If you guys have read it, I know you know what I'm talking about. I really love that book because it has so many life lessons on how far life can push you to do things, and also the extent to which people can take risks and go through uncomfortable situations to get the kind of life they want. In a subtle manner, I got so many life lessons from that book, and I loved the quotes. You know, the Chinese, excuse me, the Chinese culture is so deep. And is it Japanese? The Japanese culture. What's that? The Japanese culture is so rich and they're so deep. So I think that's what I really liked about it. Yeah. Let me know what your favorite books is. Hopefully now I'll have a new reading list. I have a friend who really likes to read. Her name is Joanne. She's always challenging us. She can be reading like 5 books at a go. So Joanne, let me know what your favorite book is, and I'll read it. Maybe we can start a book club one day. So let's get straight into my favorite books so far. I'll start with this one because I touched on I touched on this guy's video last week, The Power of Planning and Change, the late Dr. Miles Monroe. I wish this guy didn't have to die. He had some real good gems, and I'm glad that he used his talent and shared with us his knowledge while he was still alive. So I found this book randomly at home. It's from my dad's library. It's called Releasing Your Potential, Exposing the Hidden You. It's a good book where he talks about the importance of connecting to our source if you're trying to find out what your purpose is and to live out your full potential. Because Miles Monroe always talked about how the grave is the richest place on earth, because so many of us die without having tapped into our potential. And I'm in a space where I'm learning, unlearning, relearning. So I'm really trying to challenge myself to live out my full potential. Even having started this YouTube video, it's been a long time coming. So this year I'm choosing to just go for it, and hopefully in all that and in connecting to my source, So he talks about the importance of connecting to your source, and refers to, for us, me and him, our source is God, and God gives us the manual to how we are going to live our lives. So I'm connecting to my source and doing my best to live out to my full potential. Work in progress, but like I told you guys, striving to live our best lives. And I know that when we are releasing our potential, we are one step closer to living our best lives. The next book is rather obvious, the Bible. So this is the King James Version. Again, tagged it from my dad. No, it's the Holy Bible. It's the Holy Bible. Tagged it from my mom, who had tagged it from my dad. Now it's mine. I have a feeling they don't even know where it went. So I really enjoy reading Bible stories, especially like the story of Joseph and how resilient he was, and how he was able to handle rejection from his brothers, how he worked so hard and climbed the ranks until his brothers bowed down to him, quote unquote, just like he had dreamt. The story of Zechariah, in the book of Zechariah, how they were rebuilding the temple, and how God is telling his people not to despise the humble beginnings. The story of Nehemiah, where he's rebuilding the wall, how he got favor from the king, how he was leading from the front. And I get so many life lessons from the Bible. And I know that those of you who read religious book, your holy book, like the Muslims in their Quran, or I don't know any other holy book, but I know that you know that there are many life lessons in reading a holy book, because, like, for example, the Bible says that there is nothing new under the sun in Ecclesiastes. So bearing that in mind, I like to read books because people have lived before me and they have solutions to problems that I'm facing now. So why not learn from other people's mistakes, or learn from other people's life hacks, and that way my life gets easier. Actually, let me read for you something. I'll read for you guys something random in every book. So this one: potential is given for the benefit of many, not for the benefit of one. So in releasing our potential, it benefits many people, not just us. So I think we owe it to ourselves and to others to live out our full potential. The Bible. Well, I have to choose carefully. Let me not choose. I'm gonna open and pray God I come up with something nice, not like in the year of King Artaxerxes. The word of the Lord came to so and so. Yeah, so let's see. Oh, nice. I came up with Matthew chapter 5. Which verse to read? Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Yeah. Stay hungry, stay thirsty. Go for what you want. In this case, righteousness, your potential. Your thirst will be satisfied. God is faithful. The next one is Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek. I'm sure you guys who are, if you're into personal development or business, you've come across Simon Sinek. And I randomly got this book for myself for Christmas. This book and the next one that I'm going to be showing you, got myself as a Christmas present, and they've been good reads. So this one is a story on leadership, obviously, and he gives an analogy of marine corps. Is it corps or corps? Marine corps, where he's talking about, of course, in war, they're going to war. The decisions of a leader can cost the soldiers their lives, and he's using that analogy throughout the book to show how people, soldiers, are led, and how a leader, you always put yourself in first. Rather, you go before, you take a scenario and you go before your team and think about the outcome of the way that you're going to approach the project. For example, if there's a war, does their commander tell them to attack or retreat, keeping in mind that perhaps if they retreat, they could be attacked wherever they're hiding and they could all lose their lives. Like, being the kind of leader who serves, like Jesus would say, would serve the disciples. He always led from the front. He wasn't, even Nehemiah, all these stories in the Bible, these guys were leaders who got their hands dirty. They went down and did the work. And he's talking about how, as a good leader, in eating last, quote unquote, you create an environment where your staff can, or your team can trust you, an environment where they're not always looking behind their shoulders, like, what vendetta or what does my manager have up his sleeve. So you create an environment of trust, because then that way people are able to serve the mission or the vision of the team leader better. So once again, I'm going to read a random page. Interesting. My friend was just telling me how 12-step programs are effective, and yeah, so for over 75 years, Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, has successfully helped people beat the dopamine addiction of alcoholism. Most of us have heard of their 12-step program to recovery, and most of us know the first step is admitting we have a problem. So, random as that is, I hope it's resonated with you in whatever way. Yeah, leaders eat last. The next one is the other one that I've told you guys I bought for Christmas. So these two books I bought myself for Christmas last year. This one, I had it in my bag today. It got some stain from my stew. I packed some food and it spilled. I feel so bad. I always feel so bad when my book is ruined. But it'll remind me of today. Yeah, for years to come, I'll remember on this day I spilled soup on my book. So it's Dead Aid by Dambisa Moyo. She's a dope economist. She's from Zambia, but she's an internationally renowned economist. If I was good at math, you guys, I'd study economics. I really like the way they're able to come up with those principles and theories that solve poverty, that solve economic issues and problems. I don't know how they figure it out, but I find it so interesting. Have you guys seen the conversation about bottom-up economics versus SDGs? I laughed so much. Oh my gosh. Kenyans, we're such a funny lot. I love being Kenyan. Yeah, so in this book, she says why aid is not working and how there is another way for Africa. I think it's very true. Do you guys think aid is necessary for us guys in Africa? What do you guys think about aid? I have my reservations. Maybe when this platform grows a bit more, we can talk about things like that. Our opinion on aid as Kenyans, and what alternative ways we think that aid can transform our economy. Yeah. So, random page. Whoa, this is tricky. Okay. Economic theory tells us that trade contributes to growth in at least two ways. By exactly increasing the amount of actual goods and services that a country sells abroad, and by driving up the productivity of the workforce. Our mosquito net maker from chapter 3, selling 500 nets a week, could perhaps sell 1,000, were he able to export some of them abroad. To do so, his productivity would have to increase, which is good for growth. You see what I'm telling you guys? Economics. I would love to be able to comprehend. So, in the book, she talks about alternative ways of approaching the economic growth in Africa rather than aid. And one of the things she talks about is opening up global markets to Africans. And that paragraph I've read is a good explanation or analogy to how the economic activity can be opened up more to create opportunities for economic growth for Africans. So the last book, drum rolls. This was a recent gift, which I was so excited about. It was a Christmas gift actually from last year, but because it was coming in from, it was being brought in from another country, it came this year, and I'm happy that it's come now. I feel like my friend and I say, when the student is ready, the teacher presents themselves. I've heard it as well in a book. I think it was Conversations with God, where they say that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, or the teacher presents themselves. So I think I'm now ready for this book. It's by Patricia Bright. She's a finance expert turned YouTube content creator. She has millions of followers. She's now a full-time influencer who also uses her finance background to give investment advice to people. She's invested in a lot of real estate in the UK, which I find so dope. And this book is called Heart and Hustle. Use your passion, build your brand, and achieve your dreams. So she's giving us the story of her life and how she built her brand from her passion in fashion and beauty to I think she has a hair business, and she influences everything fashion and beauty, clothes, makeup, skincare, and so she's giving us some tips on how we can also grow our own brands. And what I love most about this book is some of these exercises. So it's so practical, and as you're learning, you're also getting to do. So she says, like this one, it's turn your excuses into assets. I want you to write down all the things that you worry about that you could think could hold you back. Then in the column next to each one, I want you to think of a reason why that thing could actually help you. If you're broke, could that make you hungry to succeed? If you come from a background that isn't that mainstream, does that mean that you have valuable insights into an audience or a group of customers that are being ignored? Write them down. Turn your pros into cons. So it's such a dope book. I'm so glad I got it. Yeah, I've circled so many things and written so many things in this book. I'm really, really enjoying it. And I have this fear of finishing it because it's a good book. I think, like I was telling you guys, most of these books, I don't think I'll ever stop reading them. There'll be books that I'll keep going back to from time and time again, because they're all so relevant and timeless. So I hope you've enjoyed those my books and the short summaries that I've given. Let me know if you'd like us to talk about any of them deeply. If you would like us to read any book together, maybe we can start our small community of books or podcasts. I don't know. You guys tell me. So come to the end of my video. I'm wishing you guys a lovely evening and a great week ahead. I love you and God bless you so much.